Yeah, it was a lot of anxiety as we were making it. 400 people, 4 years, strikes, pandemics. Once it was done, like now, it's pure joy.
This is Joy, coming to you live in Riley's mind. Make some noise! Sadness is in the house!
Why did we choose Ennui is probably where you should start. You know, like why we chose someone who's French for ennui, that makes sense, but why ennui?
I'm anxiety. That's ennui.
On what?
Ennui.
I'm gonna call you Wee Wee.
No.
You know, Riley is dealing with more complex emotions, and I wanted Joy to really feel intimidated by the new group coming in. I wanted them to be more sophisticated. They're understanding more what Riley's going through at this point, and she's feeling a little less confident. We could have called her boredom, but we're like, ennui is a term that we use in the U.S. We're like, she should be ennui. And then what if she speaks 2 languages and Joy just barely speaks 1? And so she can feel like she is completely behind these new emotions showing up. And then the casting behind it, we're like, well, she should have a French accent. If we're going to go with ennui, we should have a French actress play it. And so we went to our casting department.
We had 20 or 30 French actresses they put in front of us. But it was a blind audition where we just listened to the voices, actor 1, actor 2, actor 3, without knowing who they were, so that we could just judge the vocal quality.
Anxiety, we wanted somebody who's like, hi, how you doing? Like, can you speak really quickly? And ennui is the opposite, where it's slow, and she doesn't want to lift a finger. So it's more of a deeper voice. It's not trying too hard, not a lot of energy. And she had this real kind of deep register that was just felt like the feeling of ennui.
It was like 30 seconds ago, nostalgia.
And then they told it, we're like, we like actress 8. And then there's a big reveal of who it is. And they're like, that's Adele. And we're like, oh my gosh, can we get Adele? And they're like, I don't know, we'll ask and we'll see if she'll say yes. When we started to record, she was like, where's the footage of what I'm dubbing? We're like, no, we're gonna animate to your voice. And she was like, you can see her light up, and she was like so excited. She also said to us like, okay, do you want me to do a French accent that Americans think we do? Or do you want me to do a real accent? I'm like, I want you to do a real accent. Adele, I want you to be you.
Yeah.
There are all kinds of other emotions that we left on the table.
We had jealousy and envy as identical twins at one point that no one could tell apart.
Yeah, they were like, I can't, which one's jealousy and which one's envy? You guys look the same, whatever. But then we realized as we did the research, envy is the story I want to tell. Because envy is the feeling that you wish you had what others had. I'm like, that's what I need for Riley at this age, especially with Valentina. That's all about envy.
You wanna sit with us? These girls are so cool!
We can't let her know we're excited.
I got this.
Joy, I'm just curious, maybe, I could
Thank you,
help.
not now.
Yeah.
Bloofy and Pouchy. We love the idea came out of the Secrets Vault idea, where what would Riley keep as a secret? And our story team gets together and just talks about their own lives and things they can relate to and what they did when they were teenagers. And it came up that a lot of them were like, yeah, I kind of used to watch shows from my childhood even when I was in middle school. So that was how we kind of ended up in the Secrets Vault. But in terms of the animation style, we just were riffing on the idea of like, what if they were from a preschool show? And what if it was from a 2D preschool show? And I know the animators also kind of
The animation department came to us and they were like, hear us out. What if Bloofy is 2D? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, do you want to do that? Because
Can we do that?
you think that would be easier, but it's actually harder. Because anything that's outside of the pipeline at Pixar is more difficult because you got to figure out how to do it. We're like, okay, Bloofy is from a preschool show that probably has a small budget. And so we want to make sure it's not animated too much because it needs to represent those shows that are on television, and they have limited animation, but a lot of the animators we have at the studio have come from feature level animation, 2D animation, and so they're excited to do it too. They're like, yeah, I get to animate, and I'm like, wait, slow down. It's very limited poses, held poses.
Make it worse. Make it worse.
Yeah, we're like that. There's too much follow through on that. This is all animation nerd talk. How do we do it technically? That's really hard for Mark and I to answer because we have no idea. We have all these wonderful
Incredible
people.
team of
Yeah.
people. Yeah. technicians and artists and animators, they all got together and kind of formed a brain trust around how they were going to do it and figured out a pipeline.
Yeah.
Our little girl's growing up so fast. Ow. Sorry.
I had a blank canvas, so Riley could be any age. And I saw this picture of me when I was 5 years old. And I had this huge smile on my face. And in front of my birthday cake, all my friends and family around me. And I'm so happy. And then I turned 8 and 11 and then 13. And I'm just staring at the cake. And I looked miserable. I hated the attention. I hated everyone looking at me. Oh, I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand everyone like, you know, you just don't want people looking at you at that age. I was really thinking, am I really worth all this celebrating? Am I worth all this attention? If I really go deep down, deep. And it's that time when you become really self-conscious and you start to look at yourself and you start to see nothing but flaws. And that's what I wanted to make the movie about. And I talked to Pete about that. I go, you know that, it's that voice that says you're not good enough. Starts to show up at that age. That's where it came from.
I know change is scary,
Let's do this.
Hey, Riley!
but we need new friends or we'll be totally alone in high school. Out with the old, in with the new.
We both have boys and girls, and we want everybody to be able to enjoy this. But Riley's a 13-year-old girl, so we want to make sure we get it right. The first person I hired was Meg LaFauve, who wrote on the first film. She, you know, knows what it's like to be a 13-year-old girl.
Story department, more than half was women story artists.
Which I believe is a first, too.
Yeah, first time of any Pixar show.
Yeah.
Our editor, Marissa Horowitz, is brilliant. Our composer, Andrea Datzman, wrote a brilliant score. Our character art designer is Keiko Murayama.
Yeah.
So we surrounded ourselves with strong, creative women in key roles.
Early on, I was like, wait, what if we have a brain trust full of teenage girls? Maybe we could show them the movie too. And I pitched it to the studio, and I thought I'd have to sell them on it. But they were like, how many do you want? I was like, I don't know, 9? And they're like, okay. What ages? I was 13 to 16. So they did it, and we had this whole group that we called Riley's Crew. And we showed them every single version of the movie that we ever did, and we got their notes on it. And I want everyone to be able to enjoy this, and so I'm trying to get as much perspective as I can. And so we got them from different parts of the country, and so it was over Zoom a lot. So we met in person for the first time. Everybody
Earlier this week.
Yeah. It was really sweet to have them all on the red carpet, feeling like they were stars, because they really deserve it. They really helped us out, and they really put their hearts and passion into this movie. I'm really proud of it. Anyway. So.
There is a panic attack sequence at the end of the movie.
Yeah, there's some shots in that scene that you're talking about that I can't believe we pulled off it. It's some of my favorite just shots we've ever done at Pixar. It's amazing. It honestly, it gives me the chills. Like my hair is raising on my arms a little bit. You know, we work on these movies with all these wonderful technicians and artists and filmmakers.
They all just got together and just really worked hard to find the coolest, most interesting way to shoot that in a way that would be visceral.
I'm a part of like the architects building the image, and when it starts to build, you know it's working really well when suddenly I don't feel like I'm the filmmaker. I feel like I'm the audience member, and I step away from it, and I'm just watching the movie, and I'm watching Riley, and I'm like, you guys are amazing. Like I can't believe what you guys did and pulled off. This is absolutely stunning and really emotional. I think that's the thing I really like. There's some the shots I'm really feeling is when we're on Riley, and it's the depth of field that we're doing. If you really watch the depth of field is connected to Riley's emotional state, both at her height of a panic attack and as she's coming out of it. It's just stunning, and I'm so blessed to be working with the people that we're working
They
with.
did a lot of homework, definitely, and watched every movie they could think of and watched every panic attack that's ever been filmed, and really wanted to find their own lane for it. But were inspired by other shows, like The Bear has a really good one, has a really powerful one as well.
There's a really great sequence, a really great location that we ended up cutting that I loved, called Procrastination Land. I loved it. It was this empty lot with a sign that said Procrastination Land coming soon, and the emotions kept walking by it, and anger was like, when are they going to start building that place? It's been sitting like this for months. It was really funny, but it didn't really work because I need to cut to Riley and have her procrastinating. But she's being taken over by anxiety. And anxiety does not want to procrastinate. Anxiety's like, let's go, let's move, let's do this. So it was really hard. I'm like, this is such a good land, but I can't connect it to anxiety and Riley. So we ended up cutting it. But I love it. It's such a good. There's other things I'm not telling you about it that's really, really funny. That I'm not telling you because I'm hoping somebody will do something with it in the future.
The third film or short film?
Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? Yeah, who knows?
Thank you so much.
Thanks, you guys. Yeah. Merci beaucoup.